Hey guys, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, I do.
Hey Yoichi. Perfect. Alright, cool. It looks like... Oh, one more thing I gotta fix. Uh, okay, someone from the conference call try talking again?
Hello.
Huh, that wasn't right. Let's see. Speakerphone. This might work. Okay, try one more time.
One more time.
Ah, we got it. It's working. Thank you, guys. Alright, I'll just make sure the people... can you hear...
Korean.
Internet.
Go
Yep.
Korea.
Cool. So this is going to be a short meeting. So yeah, we have Jan in the back. We have Vitalik. Sorry?
Changwoo.
Changwoo. God, I'm so sorry. All right, and then we have Casey. So yeah, we're at Cornell right now, doing a week-long boot camp, and yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Let's see. Oh, it's fine now? Okay, volume up a little bit more. Trying to deal with the troll box complaining about audio. I only heard, hey guys, Vitalik, please help us.
Why? Why should I help you?
The troll box is fun. Okay, so yeah, first item, Metropolis. So I've talked to like the testing team, I've talked to some of the devs, and people are saying that EIP 86/208 should be changed to 2 hard forks. So I just wanted to get everyone's opinion on that, just to see like what everyone thought. So I think let's just start with this room. So what do y'all think?
It seems, I mean, for me personally, it seems like a very reasonable idea.
Cool. Casey?
Yeah, I'm in favor of deferring it and getting something more like EIP 101 in the next one.
Which is EIP 101?
I should add that to the agenda.
Hold on. Oh, that's freaking boss for beginner arithmetic. 88, which is probably moved to 196.
I'll link you to it here.
Yeah. So Casey just said EIP 101. So that's like 86, but like it's actually before 86.
Yeah, where
I just posted it to the agenda.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Hold on. Oh, let's see. Oh, that EIP, Serenity Currency and Crypto Abstraction. Okay.
Well, without the currency abstraction part, just the
crypto abstraction.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay, no, that's right. Which has since then turned into EIP 86, which has since then turned into EIP 208. And
So which parts of 86 would we take in Metropolis? And which parts would we defer?
I could see, I mean, the one part that I could see us taking in is the create to opcode, but like even that, I mean, I do have the, probably wants to get other people's opinions on this because like create 2 does introduce this like contracts code mutability, and look, just in case like some clients are designed in such a way that handles that terribly in a way that might lead to a consensus failure. That's like basically I just want to make sure there's enough test cases for it. Especially since Like the one thing that made me a bit more concerned is that in the process of implementing EIP 98 in Python, which is the intermediate state root removal, I ran across one bug that I didn't have before, which arised from basically from the fact that in account like if you don't if you don't commit the state from Ethereum's cache every time a transaction ends, then an account could get suicided and then revived, and like Ethereum didn't handle that well. So, like basically, I mean, like I do think EIP 98 is very important because it's a significant performance improvement, but I do want to make sure that there's just like enough testing on that particular side of things. So like one way to do this testing would be to turn off committing the state during after every transaction for existing clients and just make sure you can sync the entire blockchain.
So the only thing that could make it into Metropolis from 86 is Create 2. Is Create 2 so much useful on its own?
On its own, not too useful. Although, I mean, like I could see it being a better way to create contracts in some cases because, like, so one particular way in which Create 2 is superior to Create, for example, is that if you have a contract on the Ethereum chain and you accidentally send etc to that address, then I don't know, that doesn't work because etc is not going to support Create 2. But like if it did, then it would be easier to like it would basically be easier to recreate the exact same contract in on another chain if you wanted to. Well, that's a fairly small benefit.
I think only including Create 2 might be harmful because that allows an easy way to cause address collisions, and the client's behavior when address collision happens is one of the under-tested realms, and different clients behaved very differently until like 3 days ago, and I haven't got enough confidence.
I'd be fine with like basically deferring all of EIP 86.
Yeah, I think that it's better. It seems cleaner to not subdivide 86 through different hard forks because that just seems complicated. That almost organizationally, at least for me.
Yeah.
So if we were to not do 86/2208, what we would be doing is the rest of the EIPs, which include all of the cryptographic primitives for ZK snarks, the 96 and 98. So are 96 and 98, are they like pretty much done? Like, or is there any complications with those?
So 98 shouldn't be too hard, except for like as I mentioned, the testing is just in case. The 96, all we need. So I wrote for that you would need the hunk of code that you would stick into the block hash contract, and I wrote a version, but then Nick went and said that he could make a better version, and I've been pretty much waiting for that ever since. So if that's done, then we could use it. But if that's not done, then like the other option is to just go ahead and use the one I gave.
Okay, so that's not, so Nick, what's the status on that?
I discussed that in previous all core devs, and somebody else was keen on taking it over, and it slips my mind momentarily who that was. I'm just going to look up the relevant EIP if anyone can remember what number that is.
You said 96, right? Yeah, that's block hash refactoring. So yeah, on the main, yeah. Okay.
So this is something that really should be doable within like an hour or two. So I'd recommend we just like get together and get it done today.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. So that sounds like, what I'm looking for when I'm going through these EIPs is is there anything else similar to 86 that has very outstanding questions? Because basically by hopefully the end of this meeting, I want to say, these are at an EIP level formalized and accomplished.
Right. Okay, removal of intermediate state roots. So I remember there was an EIP where we wanted to, I think Nick wanted to replace the state root with something else. So I think the idea, I think the latest, yes.
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
I just updated the pull request earlier today to propose what the conclusion Vitalik and I came to, which was that we should only store the status code in that field.
So basically, like you would in that field, you would store a 1 if the outermost call in that transaction returned success, and 0 if it returned failure.
Yes. Also, to go back to the block hash thing, pull request 643 is Pavel's attempt at refactoring the block hash stuff. I've just linked it in the chat.
Okay, great. 643. Yeah. Okay, 96. Okay, so it's just a few changes to the original EIP. Or is this a totally new EIP? I think I got lost.
It's a new pull request on an existing EIP.
Got it. I'm trying to pull it up. But, oh, I didn't go to the latest one.
And I don't know, I actually like the 10-line solidity thing that Nick did a while back even more than either of these. Nick, do you remember what I'm talking about? Like there was one that just like did this like loop, yeah.
I do remember, yeah. I mean, if you want to chat after this
the
and just
reason I like
live
that is
code it.
just because it looks simpler than like either of these serpent things, because it just like properly does a loop instead of like having lots of different like if statements.
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned earlier just getting together and doing it. Do you want to peer code it afterwards?
Sure.
This will end early enough. We'll have some time. Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah. So y'all can get together after that. And Paul's solution here it seems complicated, but is it more efficient potentially, or not to the point where it would
not
really
to the
matter?
point where it matters, yeah.
Great. Okay, so we'll have Nick and Vitalik and people stick around after to help with that. Anybody else who wants to help? So where was the list of the EIPs? Here we are. Okay. The next one would be, I think we've gone through all the other ones. Is there any others that anyone sees that may have some outstanding things? I think 214 and 211 are finalized. Everything else looks finalized. Can anyone pull up the list, and if just everyone can take a minute? Does anyone know of any other outstanding things with these? Most of them are implemented already in clients.
Let's go through all of them. Okay, so 86 we're deferring, 96 we can do, 98 is just like removing, commenting out a line and then making sure you pass tests. 100, I think it's done. 140 is fine. 196, 197, 198, I think we have tests for. What is the status of the C++ tests for like all 3 precompiles?
Which compiles?
The 196, 197, 198. This was the elliptic curve and big N stuff.
So no, after CPPSRM passed the tests from Vitalik, there's been no other progress, no additions.
No.
We have
I remember the one thing that we got stuck a bit on is that for modular exponentiation, like some people wanted to use like Karatsuba for determining gas costs.
I remember one thing, but that one thing was solved a long time ago.
How was that solved a long time ago?
I'm looking through right now, and I think
Problem is it's so long time ago that I don't remember what it.
Yeah, I think it was this the one where this was Daniel Nai?
Yeah.
It was a June 2nd comment, and then he said that Karatsuba method, and then I don't know what we just. I think Robert from Parity might have done some estimation after that to compare is what it's looking like.
Danny told me that he began generating some tests, and but he actually never actually showed me the tests themselves. But as far as I know, he did write a test generator and a test suite. Maybe
Okay,
we
then, so I wrote this big function where I wrote I have a couple of proposals, and then I have like this simpler piecewise quadratic function, and something else, and then
I'll paste the comment in the chat.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
And this follows what we've been just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The one thing that concerns me is that, like, between all of the kind of bits, like the bit-based pricing and this, I feel like the gas schedule for 198 is getting a bit complicated. Like, it's literally more complicated than the actual exponentiation. Like, I don't know, this seems slightly concerning.
So, something to note is Daniel did thumbs up your comment.
Yeah, but like,
since he's not here to say.
I don't know, just like the fact that like the gas schedule is getting this big just makes me a bit uneasy.
Are there other comments like Peter, Christian, or anybody about the gas schedule?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't know, I feel like this is the other thing we might want to like talk through today and finalize. For 198.
For 198. Okay.
Yeah. So then we're fine with 196, 197. Can we go back to the
yeah?
list?
Let's run through. I think I might have just gone to a different page. Yeah.
211 return data size, return data copy, and 214 static call, and I think we're all fine there.
Those were finalized.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then I think we're fine.
Okay. Anybody else have anything from the accepted EIPs list? Again, we highlighted 86 as being deferred to a second Metropolis fork, 96 and 98 being basically finished today, as well as 198 getting through concerns about how we're going to be doing it. Okay. Let's see what the next thing is.
Do we have the gas cost specified for the elliptic curve addition and the scalar multiplication?
Right, yeah, so this is the other thing that we were supposed to talk about, that there was a bunch of benchmarking that happened, and this was supposed to feed into like gas costs for all these precompiles.
So Martin did some gas estimation. I believe it was based on Geth, and I believe Arcady also did some based on Parity. I'm not sure it was for that particular opcode, but Martin said, "I'll try to consolidate the Geth benchmarks for opcodes later on. Not much new to report since last time."
Okay.
So he's just run more tests, and then the Parity team's on a retreat, and they don't have any updates. They said so. What we can ask them later for the gas cost estimations, but that's something that is less vital to find out today, or does that affect some of the things?
Less, like it's just a number. Like it's probably safe to change it even 2 weeks before.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's see.
I pasted in a link with Martin's numbers that he generated about, I think, 2 weeks ago. So I'm not sure how relevant they are. I figured I'll just share it.
Thank you. I'll pull it up. Okay. I think if we get benchmarks for, and I think this has been discussed before, that if we get benchmarks for Geth and Parity, those are the two primary ones we can compare, I guess, to try to get it as close as possible. And I mean, would this be something where we could change this on hard fork 2 if we find out that it has been miscalculated or misestimated?
Totally.
Okay, great. Then that's less of a deal. Okay, we've gone through this EIP list. Any other comments about this particularly?
No.
Great. So section B in the agenda is updates to testing. I think Yoichi's the only one in here who
Okay,
might
Dmitry
have
is
an
not
update.
here. Somehow the focus is okay. So the interesting thing is now Felix implemented general state test in GoSLM, and he found many things that can be improved in the test formats and the testing infrastructure. So the efforts and the focus is somehow shifted to the infrastructure in these weeks, in these 1 or 2 weeks.
Just to expand a bit on that. So Felix was working for the last week or so together with the C++ team to port all the test suite over to Go Ethereum so that we can actually run it as part of our CI infrastructure, which entailed rewriting mostly all of our consensus test infrastructure. And it's mostly done, I think, but they are kind of ironing out the quirks and trying to figure out the weird corner cases that are really hard to port over to other projects. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. So now it's great that the GoSLM client can run the general state test format. And with respect to adding new test cases for Metropolis, when I see the Google spreadsheet of test cases, it's 70% or 88% of the lines are already green, saying implemented.
Okay, that's very promising. So and is that just for general state test or across all of the Metropolis tests?
Across all of the Metropolis tests, but yes, we have more progress in the general state tests that involves only one transaction. We are not, so the progress on the more complicated cases involving multiple transactions, this is not as good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Any other updates with regards to testing, Yoichi?
No, not from me.
Okay, thanks a lot. It's really helpful. Let me see. Welcome, Jan. Okay. The next is the updates from the client teams. Parity's done. Geth, I think you're, according to the PR, you're all done. Did you have any comments or questions, Peter?
Basically, we have a follow-up PR, which we began just to polish up, and even after that, we decided to split up the different EIPs into separate pull requests. So we're currently working on separating them and just making sure that each of them looks okay on their own. As far as I personally would start merging in already the finalized EIPs, but we agreed with Felix that we're kind of waiting for tests to make sure that it kind of looks like it passes all the tests. So it's we're in the phase of, if we consider that the tests are looking good and our code passes the test, and we are starting to merge in. So that's
okay.
That's our update.
Great. Do you mind in the comments of the agenda posting? If the PRs aren't organized, don't worry about it. But if they are, some of the follow-ups you were talking about, if you could post that would help me keep up with it.
Sure.
Thank you. All right. CPP Ethereum. Any updates worth mentioning?
There were some minor bugs being discovered during testing. Yoichi fixed several of them these weeks. Not much apart from that.
You cut out on the last part, Andre. Could you say that again?
I'm saying that apart from several minor fixes we did these 2 weeks, there's no many updates on Metropolis. We're mostly done.
Okay, perfect. And I see that in your PR, you've also Pavel actually added the Google Docs link to each test that you are implementing. So that's nice.
Yeah, that probably Dimitri was who added that.
Oh, great, cool. So the next thing is yellow paper. Yoichi, I think you said there was just like one outstanding issue last time.
No, that was just the gas cost, and then after that, EIP86 changed a little bit. I reflected the change, so it's up to date.
Okay, great. Pyeth app, that would be Vitalik or Jan or both, I think. Any updates worth mentioning, or?
I mean, nothing too worth mentioning except just that. I mean, we did release like Ethereum 2.0 a while back, so it's more modernized and it's like cleaned up a bunch of tests. As far as implementing Metropolis goes, we've basically just been waiting until C++ tests kind of stabilize more. So if they have stabilized enough, actually, the thing that we want to wait for also is this finalizing EIP 96 and EIP 90, the 198 gas schedule, and once we have that, then we can just like run through the tests and make sure we're still passing them. Back when I was checking, I remember we were passing most of them except for a few, and the few that we were not passing was because C++ had some bugs in it. Although I think Yoichi had been working on them fairly recently.
So now I'm seeing many errors on Hive even before Metropolis. So I want to clean this up.
It was muted, you can ask.
Because otherwise, yeah, the
You
more
mean
complicated
errors for
Metropolis related
Ethereum and Hive?
problems would be hidden among many other problems. So yeah, I want some cleaner state.
Would someone like Piper from the Pyeth team could work with Yoichi or something?
Maybe.
Yes, I learned about this. He's debugging-oriented client, so yes, it's interesting. Thanks.
Okay, great. Is that pretty much the end of the Pyeth app updates?
Yeah.
Sweet. No other clients are in the room, I don't think. So that ends the updates from the client teams. Another agenda topic is determining the gas price for new opcodes and precompiles. Martin left a note saying I'll try to consolidate the Geth benchmarks for opcodes later on. Not much to report since last time. And then Arcady from Parity said no updates, so we'll get that information from Parity in the next meeting and hopefully compare metrics. Are there any other comments on the gas price for the new opcodes? Great. So the last part, review time estimate for testing and release. We've been kind of going with an August or September, like very rough estimate. Since we are delaying 86, I think that's going to help either speed things up or keep us on track. Does anyone have any opinions on the timing of when things should happen, I guess, now that we've delayed 86?
What I still don't know is now how many of the Metropolis tests can go Ethereum and Parity run with success, and how much failure are there that I'm missing.
Okay, so that's something where we'll be able to have a more concrete estimate once they are passing the test. Would that be Hive?
Yes, so some outstanding number of failures and the speed of the decrease in the number of failures. This will be kind of this will be some indication of our readiness.
Okay, sounds good. So ideally, I'd say August or September, but obviously that's going to be pending all of the testing changes, so we'll just keep that in mind for now. Any other comments on that? Okay, cool. I want to post a link I did. Oh, go ahead.
Quick question. So I'm guessing the tests, if we decide to postpone the account extraction, the tests would need to be updated accordingly. And also, I'm wondering, do we want Nick's proposal, Nick's EIP about adding the success code or failure code to a transaction receipt? Will we do that for Metropolis, for the first fork of Metropolis? And if yes, when can we expect tests for it?
Which EIP is that, or is it more of something that would be added to one?
So it's Nick's EIP.
Oh, so the modification to 98. I'd say you should just bring that into Metropolis.
Part 1 or part 2?
Part 1.
Okay. If that's the case,
Okay.
we need someone to jump on that and get that EIP updated to talk about adding that, and then we can plan to get tests for it. I don't know how extensive that is.
Well, my point being that if we modify the receipts, then basically it means we're modifying the block hashes, which means all of the tests are invalid currently.
That's true. It's not much work for general state tests, and GoEthereum can run general state tests already. Feeding all blockchain tests, however, would take some substantial amount of time, maybe in the counts of days. But general state tests can be updated totally, even if the transaction receipt format change.
Okay. So is that something that, now that we've delayed 86, would be something you'd be in favor of, Yoichi? As I mean, it would be additional work in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
but it might
with this additional work, I still prefer the delay of EIP 86.
Oh yeah, no, I'm specifically talking about how much extra work would be put on for the changes to the block hash that you were just describing, or to the hash.
Okay, the change of the transaction receipt. But we already are changing receipt formats, and we have updated the tests in a matter of days, so it's not a blocker.
Okay. That sounds good. In that case, who should be responsible for editing that EIP to add that? That was 98, correct?
Yeah.
I think that might be Vitalik?
Yeah, I can do that. Hold on.
Okay.
I
think it's already in a comment from Nick or someone.
I can just add, literally edit this right now, and I'll basically say...
I actually wrote 615 as a replacement to 98, so I think with 615 we don't need 98.
Let's check 16.
You said 615?
Yes.
Okay.
No, hold on. 615 is subroutines and static jumps.
Sorry, 1 sec then.
Oh,
658.
Oh, 658. Oh, yes. So it's literally a copy of a 98, but with your additions?
Pretty much. I mean, 98 just suggests removing the intermediate state field, and 658 suggests replacing it with status code. So it should be possible to just obsolete 98 and replace it with 615. Sorry, 658.
Yeah. 98 replace with 650. You said 658?
Yes.
Okay, great. I think Vitalik might be just adding it to 98 since everyone's kind of already gone there. I think you've
Sure.
implemented some of the, so we'll do either one. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's the content that matters, not the number.
Yeah. So either way, we all agree on that, and we'll just add it to one of them and then push it forward. If we obsolete it, I'll make note of that in the README.
I see. So Nick, you have a single byte, whereas the way I'm writing it up is we have 32 bytes. And
As
the
in
32 bytes.
32 bytes of zeros with or 31 bytes of zeros into one.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. I guess there's trade-offs there. One is that padding it like that reduces the migration hassle for clients, but it also introduces 31 bytes of pointless overhead.
Right, but in the long term, the 31 bytes of pointless overhead is going to have to be removed once we add some kind of proper network protocol compression.
Yes.
Yeah, and which we have to do anyway because like the gas schedule kind of assumes that we had network protocol compression since day one.
Yes, I mean it won't entirely eliminate the overhead, but it will reduce it at least.
Yeah.
So is there a problem with just doing one?
No, it's just basically if you keep it in 32 bytes, then like the format of the data types just are totally unchanged.
Okay. So it sounds
I'd be
like
interested to hear what Peter and others think of the two alternatives.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
To be honest, I'm unsure, so I see the benefit of both approaches. One of them is that clients become a bit simpler if they don't have to care about two different formats. On the other hand, retaining 31 0 bytes till infinity also seems a bit wasteful. Of course, it will be compressed in a database, and hopefully sooner rather than later it will be compressed network-wise too, so it's not such a huge issue. I don't know. To be honest, I can see the advantages of both.
I mean, I guess clients are going to have to branch to determine how to treat that field depending on which block it's included in anyway. So the overhead of decoding it differently may not be high.
Yes and no. So in theory, so if I'm running, for example, a client, so I just attach to a remote node and I want to return a receipt, it would be nice if I didn't have to care about the block number. So from that perspective, maybe it's better to keep 31 zeros. On the other hand, it's not such a big difference. So.
Andre or Christian, do y'all have an opinion on this?
Yeah, no, not really.
Cool. Anybody else? Okay. So yeah. What do you say, Vitalik?
Yeah, that's good enough for now.
Okay. So just you're saying do the 1 byte or not do the?
Well, do the oh you mean the 1 byte versus 32 bytes thing?
Yeah, that's the only thing we would talk about pretty much.
I mean, personally, I don't care, and from a Python perspective, either one is trivial, but see what Geth and Parody think.
I mean, I guess I'd say if everyone's ambivalent about it, then go for 1 byte because it's at least marginally better.
Yeah, and I mean, we're getting a lot, I don't know. Again, we could say, like, we can fix that later, but why not now?
Right, okay, sure. 1 byte it is.
Alright, 1 byte for that one. Cool. I lost track. What were we doing? That's why we have an agenda. Where'd it go? I have too many tabs, guys. I don't know where my agenda is. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, oh, yeah, so as far as the timeline goes, the other thing that kind of goes with this agenda item is if we do, so we are doing 2 hard forks. We're taking out all of 86 for the first one, and that's going to go in the second one. And this is super early, so we don't have to go into a lot of detail on this, but what other EIPs would we consider for the second Metropolis fork, which, in my opinion, should probably not be till 2018, just with the next few months and us getting Metropolis out. We can. I mean, if anyone wants to do it faster, that's fine. But we'll be going pretty hard, and then there's DevCon and stuff. So maybe January or February would be ideal for the next one. But any thoughts on that, just initially?
Once the first hard fork looks like it's being close to finalized, we can figure out like exactly how much we want to do in this next one, like what it'll entail. I mean, it would be a pretty significant change to like a bunch of fairly low-level infrastructure, so it's worth thinking more about kind of
what could go along with that to kind of help. Or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And there's also some other interesting ones like miner reward, which I feel like that being changed in the second hard fork makes more sense if we're going to change it.
No, the mining reward it makes the most sense to change it at the same time as we cut off the bomb, and the bomb has to get cut off in the first one.
Okay. I forgot where we landed on doing that for this hard fork.
No, there was an EIP somewhere, and it's a pretty trivial one.
Is it 186?
No. Well, it was, hold on. It might even be one of the newer ones.
With EIP 100, because basically EIP 100 is one.
649.
It's EIP 649 and pull request 669.
That's just the difficulty bomb, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the minor.
Oh, the reward
right.
reduction.
Yeah, the reward reduction. I didn't know where that one was. And the reason for that would be that, the reason for the minor reward reduction happening at first is because the difficulty bomb would change. And so doing it on the second hard fork would make less sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it is 186.
That's assuming that the miners would revolt, right?
Yeah, like in general, it just seems like in my opinion, it seems weird to just like let block rewards be really, really high for 2 months and then like cut it back down.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is anyone
implementation-wise, they're both fairly straightforward.
Yeah. Can someone figure out how much to reduce it and all that other stuff? Because there's been so many debates on it, I can't really keep up anymore.
I think the informal consensus was to reduce it to like roughly so that the rewards per second are roughly unchanged when the bomb gets defused.
I think it was the most recent suggestion I heard was 3F per block.
Yeah, 3 is like the good approximation.
Okay. So
do we
that's
want to
easy
use the
enough
hard to the limit, or do we want to calculate it based on whatever the fork is?
I think it's much cleaner to just set an integer number of ETH personally.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
I mean, you know, unless we want to make it pi ETH or something.
Let's make it half a pi or 3/4 of a pi.
Yeah. Depending on how hungry we are, you can make it 3/4 or a whole pie.
Yeah, well, it would lead to some great articles on CoinDesk, wouldn't it?
Pi talk reigns in all core dev meeting. Okay, so that's straightforward. So between now and next time, let's just make an EIP for that. I'll put that on my to-do. EIP for minor reward reduction. That's pretty universally liked by the community. Okay,
The other issue with this is it would be nice to finalize it fairly quickly because, again, it impacts all the tests. I mean, all the block tests.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can just write a comment to 669.
The difficulty bomb delay?
No, just like how to add an issuance reduction, yeah.
Yeah, that can go with the bomb delay one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a good pairing to have both. And that's an EIP that can be quickly finalized, but at least we'll have the spec in there. If you write that in right now, that'd be great. And that'll just have a day or two for people to discuss, but it's pretty much been decided in previous meetings. Let's see. I did a Reddit thread the other day where I said, DApp developers, what is the maximum time that the block time could be before it affects your dApps, and I was trying to aim toward getting stuff like casino dApps and other ones that rely on low block times to kind of let me know what, dApps that are in production, what they're doing right now. And the wide consensus is that most of the dApps are favoring us doing Metropolis right versus getting the Ice Age fixed faster, I guess, or like putting in the hard fork more quickly. And there's few apps that rely on block times being under 45 seconds. If anything, it just makes it a little bit annoying for many dApps. So above 45 seconds, it starts to get a little bit more difficult for some of them, especially the ones that deal with like casinos and like Ether Delta decentralized exchanges, because a lot of people can put up their their
but just a
transactions.
question.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how relevant this is, but so I can imagine a few apps that it would be smoother if the block times are 15 seconds, but zero guarantees that your transaction will get in the next 10 blocks. So you still have to count with that annoyance.
Yeah, and all I was doing by doing this thread was to say, if Metropolis goes out and like we have problems and then it gets pushed in October, where it could, I haven't run the calculations, but I think it could get to 40-45 seconds by October. How much would that affect the network as a whole? And it's sounding like it wouldn't be the end of the world. So,
well, I guess
go ahead.
So basically, if we go from 15 seconds to 45 seconds, but at the same time we triple the gas limit, then in theory we're at the same place.
Yeah, that would be in theory, depending on also, if the network with all the, the coin distributions recently, like how many transactions are filling blocks. That's slowed down a lot though, and so no one can predict the future. But I would reckon that we don't have like huge like full block delays like we've had with recent coin offerings beyond the end of the year, or before the end of the year. So yeah, and then I guess the miners can just adjust the block gas limit. What were you saying, Nick?
I was about to say exactly what Peter said.
Great. So yep, just wanted to throw that tidbit in there. Do you have any numbers, Vitalik or anyone else, on block times like between September and October?
Sure, I can run that script. I'll just rerun the execution I did about 2 days ago.
Great. And while that's happening, I can just wrap this up. We're pretty much done.
Okay, so we can expect block times to hit 22 seconds at the end of July. Then we can expect them to go up to 27 seconds on August 26th, and then we can expect them to go up to 35 seconds on September 27th.
Okay, so that sounds like it'd be 40 to 45 within October.
It goes up to 45 on November 6th.
Oh, all right.
Yes, because like as the block time gets longer, the periods also get longer. So in the long run, the block time increase is actually linear.
Oh, okay. That's actually even better than I thought. So this isn't going to be as much of an issue. There shouldn't be any way that we would get Metropolis out later than November, and it should be well before then. Okay. Cool. That was the last item. Is there any other comments, topics, stuff like that? Okay, great. So I have a list here. We basically need to do 96, wait, sorry. So 96, yeah, 96, 98, and 198 are the ones with outstanding problems that I wrote down. The people who were going to help with that after this meeting were Nick and Vitalik. Other people can stick around if you want. I'll probably turn off the live stream. but yeah, specifically 198 for the gas schedule, and then why are we? Oh, we're just finalizing 96 and 98 with a few different things, just making it specific. So yeah, let's get to that. Cool. Yeah, if there's no other comments, good meeting, and just everyone who wants to stay on the call, stay on the call, and we will work through those 3 EIPs. Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.
I still have to see what it means to really help. I'm just interested. Okay, then I'm in.